Hello, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this particular episode, I'd like to talk about a particular area of U visas. Now, just to recap, U visas deal with when you're a victim of a particular crime. There's many of them, and even if it's not exactly on that particular crime, it can be related. So there's all kinds of ways of getting a U visa. But the problem is that many people have applied long ago for the U visas and they're still waiting. And they're wondering if something's wrong, if something was prepared incorrectly, and so forth. So let me tell you what the situation is. So the law allows for 10,000 U visas per year. Now, that sounds like a lot, right? People who are victims of crime and there being 10,000 of them a year, it sounds like, it shouldn't run out. But unfortunately, in the United States of America, there does seem to be quite a bit of crime. And so the fact is that when the U visas were used up quite some time ago, the 10,000, the applications still keep coming in, but they start to backlog. And then when the next year opens up the next 10,000, then they take from the ones that have already backlogged, as the continual flow keeps going. And then when it's done for that year, then the backlog continues, and basically every year the backlog gets longer and longer, because even though there's 10,000 per year, there's more that are actually applying every year. So right now, some of it depends on where you are and so forth, but more or less the wait is about 4 years. Okay, that means that let's just pretend you file the U now. You're probably not going to get an adjudication of that U for another 4 years. So that's a long time. And that's why many of you who have applied are wondering why you haven't heard of anything. So you basically go on waitlist. Okay, you just get waitlisted until it gets a lot closer to the time. And then when it gets a lot closer to the time, then they can adjudicate the U and see if it's a bona fide petition and at least let you go that far. And then at some point, they'll actually adjudicate the whole petition. So it is a long wait if you're on, if you're applying for a U. It's not like you're going to get a work permit 3 days after you submit the U. You have to forget about that. And then if you happen to be outside the country, because I have lots of clients who either have been deported or they left voluntarily, or whatever the situation is, they're outside the country. You still qualify for a U, but you can't just come back in. So, what can you do? So, like, if you're outside the country, it's possible that you could do a petition to be paroled into the country because you are waitlisted on the U visas. And they being immigration has the authority to grant that. I'm not telling you it's easy or piece of cake, but certainly if the factors merit it, and if you have lots of ducks in your side, then you might be able to get that parole granted. Now, if you're inside the country, there's different related petitions that you might also be able to do in order to try to obtain a temporary work permit while you're being waitlisted on the U visa. Now, keep in mind that even if you're on the U and even if you're waitlisted, do see if there's other types of petitions that you might be able to qualify for, such as an employment petition, asylum perhaps, Convention Against Torture, if you've been put in removal proceedings, cancellation. There's different things that might happen. So don't close the door on other petitions. It's like two horses going around the track. The first one to the finish line wins, and it doesn't matter how many horses you have going around the track, meaning it doesn't matter how many petitions you have of different types, as long as you get one of them that gets approved. So if you like the video, click like, subscribe, Also, feel free to send me off a message that you know, of a particular video subject you'd like to hear that you haven't heard me do the videos on, and we'll go from there. Okay, more on the coming videos.